The next series we are going to look at is the MacBook series. We are going to look at the major releases of the MacBook, MacBook Air and MacBook Pro with the order of release dates. MacBook Pro 2006. The first generation of MacBooks was the MacBook Pro, released on January 10, 2006. It was announced as the replacement for Apple's PowerBook G4. It featured a 1-inch thick aluminum enclosure and weighed 5.6 pounds. It was the first MacBook to feature a backlit keyboard and Apple's new MagSafe magnetic power connector. The MacBook Pro also included a 67% brighter display, a scrolling trackpad, and Apple's sudden motion sensor, which was designed to protect the hard drive in case of a fall. The first Mac notebook based on an Intel processor, the 15-inch MacBook Pro, delivered up to 4 times the performance of the PowerBook G4. Apple released a 17-inch model a few months later. MacBook 2006. Apple released the MacBook in 2006 to replace both the iBook and 12-inch PowerBook. With its sleek design, Apple reported its new MacBook was the world's most advanced consumer notebook. At 1 inch thick, it was 20% thinner than the iBook. It was up to 5 times faster than the iBook and up to 4 times faster than the 12-inch PowerBook. It featured a 13.3-inch glossy widescreen display that was 79% brighter than the iBook and PowerBook, a built-in iSight video camera, a MagSafe power adapter, a sudden motion sensor, a scrolling trackpad, featured an Intel Core Duo processor, 2 GB RAM and up to 120 GB storage and came in 2 colors, white and black options. MacBook Air 2008. The MacBook Air was the world's thinnest notebook when CEO Steve Jobs famously introduced it during Macworld 2008. Because of its thinness, the MacBook Air was the first Mac to remove the optical drive and feature a multi-touch trackpad with gestures. It included a 13-inch LED display and a full-size, backlit keyboard, along with a built-in iSight video camera powered by featured an Intel Core Duo processor, 2 GB RAM and up to 120 GB storage. Apple later introduced an 11.6-inch model to compete with netbooks and ultrabooks. MacBook Pro 2008 was released on October 18, 2008. Some of the improvements from the previous one were the addition of the aluminum unibody enclosure, NVIDIA GeForce graphics card with either 256 MB or 512 MB, removable battery that Apple claimed would last 5 hours of use, high-gloss screen, which is covered by an edge-to-edge reflective glass finish. The entire trackpad is usable and acts as a clickable button. 2.8 GHz quad-core Intel Xeon processors. 2 GB RAM and 320 GB storage. ATI Radeon HD 2600 XT 256 MB graphics. And many more features. In 2009, a release was made that brought a 17-inch version that had an improved lithium polymer battery. The 2010 update added Intel Core i5 and Core i7 processors, larger memory, better graphics, and even greater battery life. MacBook Air 2010. The second-generation MacBook Air was released on October 20, 2010. MacBook Air has a 13-inch Retina high-resolution widescreen display. It is powered with a dual-core Air Core 2 Duo and NVIDIA GeForce 320M integrated graphics processor with 256 MB of shared DDR3 memory. It features 2 GB of RAM, a 128 GB per 256 GB flash storage, 2 USB 2.0 ports, analog audio out, SD card slot and mini DisplayPort video out with external 30-inch support display. Sum up the connectivity options. Minor upgrades happened in 2013, 2015, and 2017, each making some upgrades to the graphics, storage, and memory. MacBook Pro 2012. The 13.3 MacBook Pro notebook computer is a powerful computer, powered by a 2.5 GHz Intel Core i5 dual-core processor with turbo boost up to 3.1 GHz. The computer is loaded with 4 GB of DDR3 RAM, a 500 GB 5400 RPM hard drive and a SuperDrive DVD burner. The computer's 13.3, 33.8 cm display features LED backlight technology and a glossy finish. The MacBook Pro 2012 did away with Ethernet and FireWire ports. The computer features a comfortable backlit chiclet-style keyboard and a trackpad that fully supports multi-touch gestures. A 2013 update brought further improvements to graphics, memory, and storage, as was clearly the standard for minor upgrades between generations. This upgrade also made the chassis slightly thinner. 2 years later, in 2015, Apple added Force Touch to the trackpad, along with even greater improvements to graphics, memory, storage, and battery life. MacBook 2015. It included a 12-inch Retina display, a redesigned butterfly mechanism keyboard, and a Force Touch trackpad. Apple introduced Thunderbolt 3 and USB-C ports in favor of the MagSafe adapter and standard USB-A ports for a slimmer form factor and increased power efficiency. It is powered by a 5th-generation Broadwell Intel Core M processor featuring 8 GB of fast, power-efficient RAM and 256 GB of PCIe-based flash storage. Apple updated this generation of MacBook in 2016 and 2017, adding improvements to the processors, keyboard, memory, storage, graphics, and battery. MacBook Pro 2016. The 4th generation of the MacBook Pro was announced at an Apple special event on October 27, 2016. The MacBook Pro 2016 is thinner and lighter than its predecessor. The 13-inch model has a 13.3-inch LED backlit display with IPS technology, 2.0 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5, turbo boost up to 3.1 GHz, 256 GB to 1 TB storage, and an 8 GB memory. The 15-inch model comes with 15.4-inch, diagonal, LED backlit display with IPS technology, a touch bar with integrated Touch ID sensor, 2.7 GHz quad-core Intel Core i7, turbo boost up to 3.6 GHz, 512 GB, 2 TB storage and a 16 GB onboard memory. MacBook Air 2018. The 3rd generation of the MacBook Air had 2 releases. One was released on October 30, 2018, and the main features included a 13.3-inch Retina display and Touch ID, 256 GB configurable to 2 TB SSD, Intel UHD graphics 617 and 1.6 GHz dual-core Intel Core i5, turbo boost up to 3.6 GHz, 2 USB-C ports and a butterfly keyboard. The second release was on November 17, 2020. They did away with the Intel Core i5 and added the company's new M1 processor, which is designed to deliver fast speeds while maintaining all-day battery life. It features a fanless design that keeps the Air quiet and delivers up to 18 hours of continuous video playback. It comes with 16 GB RAM and a 256 GB storage configurable up to 2 TB. It also has 2 Thunderbolt ports and Apple's revamped Magic Keyboard. It's available in silver, space gray, and gold color options. MacBook Pro 2020. This laptop was powered by the super powerful M1 Pro and M1 Max chips. It has 13.3-inch Retina display that supports resolution of 227 pixels per inch. It has 16 GB RAM and 256 GB storage configurable to 2 TB. It also comes with a 2 Thunderbolt that supports 61W fast charging and has a battery life that lasts up to 20 hours. Apple TV app movie playback. It has the backlit Magic Keyboard with the Touch ID and the Touch Bar. It's available in silver and space gray. It was announced on November 10, 2020, and later released in mid-November 2020. MacBook Pro 2021. This generation came in both 14-inch and 16-inch versions and was released on October 26, 2021. The key new features include the upgrade of processors to the turbocharged versions of Apple's M1 processor. The M1 Pro and M1 Max has 16 GB unified memory configurable to 32 GB, 256 GB storage configurable to up to 8 TB, has mini LED liquid retina XDR displays, a 1080p FaceTime HD camera, 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports, an HDMI port, 6 speakers, and MagSafe 3. MacBook Air 2022. With the arrival of the new M2 processor, the MacBook Air gets an entirely new design in 4 different colors and a larger 13.6-inch liquid retina display. It has 8 GB RAM and 256 GB storage configurable to 2 TB. Other additions include backlit Magic Keyboard with Touch ID, a 4-speaker sound system, a 1080p HD camera, physical function keys, and support for fast charging with an optional 67-watt USB-C power adapter. It was released on July 15, 2022. MacBook Pro 2022. The new MacBook Pro M2 13-inch was released on June 24, 2022. The MacBook Pro moves to the M2 chip with an 8-core CPU and a 10-core GPU. It now supports up to 24 GB of unified memory and up to 2 TB of storage and remains the only Apple laptop with the Touch Bar. It continues to be offered in silver and space gray, offers a 720p camera and stereo speakers, and weighs in at 3 pounds.